This item is a fantastic piece of baseball history. It is called a presentation piece, and it was given to clubs that had won the World Series. The presentation piece is a photo that shows all of the players on the team. This piece was presented to the Chicago Cubs circa 1908.
And this was given out to celebrate the fact that the Cubs had won the World Series in 1907 and 1908. The first team ever to do that. Of course, the World Series started in 1903.
It shows many important figures in the team at that time, including Mordecai Brown. Mordecai has a fascinating story behind his rise in baseball.
And his hand got caught in the corn shredder, and it actually took off his finger right down to the nub here on the second knuckle. Later, he fell and broke 2 other fingers.
It also shows the Cubs' defense, which were considered to be one of the strongest at the time. If this presentation piece were to be offered at an auction, it would retail at the price of...
This is valued at about $5,000.
Oh my, that's shocking. It's amazing.
This uniform belonged to the Guest, who was a bat boy for the Cleveland Indians in 1948. The Guest family moved to Cleveland, and he participated in a contest, thereby landing the role of bat boy. 1948 was a significant year for the Cleveland Indians as they won their last World Series.
Here they won their second of 2 World Series, their last World Series championship.
This wool uniform was worn by the Guest during the regular season and the World Series. The 1948 season also bore witness to a legendary player in action. Satchel Paige was an American professional baseball pitcher whose career spanned 5 decades in Negro League Baseball and Major League Baseball, MLB. This Bat Boy jersey is unique and in excellent condition. Considering the rarity of game-worn Bat Boy jerseys, its auction value is set at...
Given that, I think a value at auction, I think $2,000 to $3,000.
All right.
In Iranian culture, rugs like the one displayed serve as symbols of status and heritage. This particular rug was acquired by the Guest at a yard sale. Known as a sumac rug, it dates back to the 1960s and originates from the Caucasus Mountains in Europe. Additionally, the rug features a silk pile and is woven on a cotton foundation. Surprisingly, this antique rug is in perfect condition. The value of this culturally symbolic rug is placed at...
The retail value for it would be about $2,000. So I think you made a great investment.
Wow.
We are presented with a pair of elegant paintings brought by our Guest, who inherited them from her mother-in-law.
These came down from the family, and each woman brought it down.
So it's been handed down to daughter-in-law. Okay.
These works were created by Benjamin Greenleaf. Greenleaf was an American portraitist active in New England throughout his career.
He was an itinerant painter going from town to town, staying there until he'd either worn his welcome out or he's painted enough commissions that he was done.
The painting closest to the appraiser features a woman and is a reverse painting on glass. In contrast, the second painting, which depicts a gentleman, was executed on a wooden panel. However, the frames of these paintings have been replaced, which slightly diminishes their value.
A diploma, those little black ones.
Okay.
And they were falling apart.
Okay.
So that's why we had them.
The auction value of these items by Greenleaf would be
$5,000 to $7,000.
Wow.
just like any other exquisite painting. This still life oil painting is a captivating piece. The piece was painted by Charles Ethan Porter, who was a student of the National Academy of Design in New York City. He was one of the first African Americans to exhibit there and was the only African American artist at the turn of that century who painted in still life.
And of course, the prevailing attitude at the time was that quote-unquote Negroes weren't really capable.
This particular painting, an oil on canvas, is signed C.E. Porter in the top left corner and is dated between 1875 and 1879, after his time at the National Academy of Design, but before his Parisian studies.
He had the support of a lot of people in Hartford, including Samuel Clemens, a.k.a. Mark Twain, Twain's wife, Olivia Clemens.
As seen, the painting features a suspended apple, drawing the viewer's eye and showcasing Porter's talent for still life. Given its significance and the artist's historical importance, this painting would sell for...
So at retail, I think I would put a price of around $25,000 on it.
Really?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that is fantastic.
At first glance, this item looks like an ordinary poster, but it is an original painting of a little girl.
We do know that she came from a wealthy family out on Staten Island.
Yeah.
The family had a ferry. Her uncles and grandfathers had connections with George Washington.
This painting features a beautiful fence and a stunning rendition of her head and also the background, which includes lace, flowers, and strawberry designs. Although the artist is unknown and definitely a non-academic painter,
A non-academic painter, this means somebody that's not exactly trained as an official academic artist with great background and training.
this is the dream painting everyone looks for in Americana. On the back, it has original stretchers and canvas, and the varnish has never been removed. Although some sort of discoloration is seen, it doesn't affect its value. This beautiful painting with wonderful decorative elements has a price value of
Possibly at auction, I would think the picture would bring between $30,000 and $40,000.
Really?
The guest, a collector of old photographs, brought a record with photos. He acquired this piece in North Carolina at an antique show, and it contains all the family names. We see a visibly colored sheet, which is a family record featuring different phases of life.
Is a family record with the introduction of the Pilgrims.
It ranges from childhood days and courtship to school days and more. We also see scenes that evoke a typical American life. Fascinatingly, objects in this piece can be dated by the different photographs that appear. The item features unique photographic portraits depicted in 2 different techniques.
So these darker images are tintypes, and these brownish images are carte visites, albumin calling cards.
This beautiful 18th century family record with unique portraits and pictures of children as a collection would have an auction estimate of
Somewhere between $1,200 and $1,400.
Oh, amazing. Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much.
a thing of beauty. That's what this watch is. The complexity of the watch is beautiful and immediately appeals to many watch collectors. This is a perpetual calendar watch which has a lot of bells and whistles. The watch works in quite an interesting way. The watch is also a chronograph watch because it can be used as a stopwatch. Additionally, the watch is a repeater, which is quite fascinating.
You told me something when we were at the table. What'd you say?
For a watch to be so unique and functional in so many ways, this watch is a masterpiece. If it were to be sold at an auction, this watch would easily retail at the auction value of
Somewhere between $35,000 and $40,000.
No.